Burn, 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 whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it out. I can do anything. I can sing. We are back to the warehouse for Blitzball Battle 7. Old Man Dan can. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about boys. I'm your co-host, Brennan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey. Moment of silence. So to kick things off here, we're a little behind. I had a busy weekend, but we're catching up. I'm going to put this episode out tonight, as you see it, and I will catch up with the alleged game of the century immediately tomorrow. I won't even let this recap germinate for too long. But we have business to take care of course, right here, right now. Before we talk about the big one next episode, right now, I want to reference my preview from last game. I was correct saying that MacFlurry Power would win, but I was wrong in how it actually happened. So Lou Deb, his arm was fine. Apparently, he wasn't really hurt. He just wasn't stretching well enough. Lou, let us know in the comments what's going on exactly. I guess it doesn't matter because you're out. Anyway, but maybe he is old. I mean, the report from Chris Rose, the unofficial report, was that he is having a hard time loosening up to be able to get to max velocity. So I think that's a better thing to hear than him actually struggling with some sort of injury. So that's good. He was fine. He pitched really well. He hit really well too. That's the confusing part, because a lot of times when I preview a game for Del Caribe, in my head, if Lou is pitching well and hitting well, then Del Caribe wins. And they came very close. I got a text from, I forget, some random freak fan, you know who you are, that for too long he felt that Del Caribe was going to win. And that's kind of how I'm sure a lot of people felt. Like, oh man, they're actually going to do it. But yeah, they didn't quite, as you know. But they had a real chance in this game. It was a very competitive game. At some point, the strange fan in the stands that holds a whiteboard, he wrote on his famous board that this is a very good game, and that was an accurate representation of what was going on at the time. Awesome all the way through. Ended awesomely. It came down to, really, the only reason why MacFlurry won is because of their timely hitting. They're not like a powerhouse team offensively, but they hit at all the right times. So good on them. They're always going to pitch. They did that exactly, and they hit just enough. That's the story of this franchise. They hit just enough and always pitch super, super well. So with that said, let's get into the burn. All of the olds plus K-Mac's showdown in this quarterfinal matchup between MacFlurry Power and Del Caribe. K-Mac channels his old teammate's member as he drops it on Del Caribe and striking out the side. Lou's got his poker face on and says, "I'll see you and raise you" by putting up a zero of his own and hitting a solo shot to put Del Caribe on the board. But just a dab won't do for Lou. He smashes a double off the wall to score one more. MacFlurry at the plate, and K-Mac orders a double-double off the value menu to score their first run of the game. And Old Man Dan can go home and count some sheep after hitting this one deep. He walks off Del Caribe and sends them packing. MacFlurry Power wins 3-2. Wow. Only one small flub. Didn't say boof. Unfortunate. Yes, we start at the top of the first. K-Mac, to me, first of all, one of my favorite players in the warehouse. My wife hates him because he's doing his job extremely well at being the heel. I think it even works so much better because he's not a player in this warehouse. So him being an outsider and being a jerk on the field is kind of perfect. I get lost in the weeds a little bit. Like, this is something, I don't know if I talked about this in the podcast before. I lose track of what I say because I'm talking to myself for 20 minutes at a time, 3 times a week. So I was having this thought while driving the other day. A lot of good driving thoughts. That's where I get all my good thinking done. Driving and running, best times to think. But sometimes I appreciate what they've done over the past few seasons, where they get everyone that's literally in the warehouse at all to put on jerseys for both sides and have like a college game day style like color jersey representation on both sides of the field. So you have like the battle of the two sides going on at all times, and it's more visually pleasing to have people dressed in color instead of just like a mishmash of whatever the hell they decided to wear that day. And they can play in like little side characters of the Whack Pack or just random people in funny outfits. But I think I would enjoy it better if all the players playing never took off their own team's gear. Like it bothers me a little bit seeing, say, like for instance, like Jimmy and Jake dressed up in like Del Caribe jerseys, watching, like, rooting for that team, knowing that at some point they could face them. It just takes me out of it a little bit. I want there to be. I think it would make it seem more competitive if players were never ever rooting for another team unless it benefited them somehow in the tournament. Just my opinion, but I know they absolutely need bodies in order to fill out the warehouse and make it look better. So I understand why they do it. For me, I think this is also just for a super fan that has a podcast about the show. That's how I would like to consume it. I think that would make it for a better product overall. But I think the more important thing is that it works for the masses, obviously. But just my 2 cents. Back to K-Mac. Amazing character in this warehouse. He does what he does so well. And his attitude kind of matches up perfectly with his pitching style. He doesn't try really hard to pitch. He just has 2 pitches. One that acts like a lefty curveball, the big sinker that everybody can kind of throw in this warehouse, but he pitches it really consistently and really well. And he's got the slider that tunnels off of that. And that sort of acts like a little bit of a rising slider sometimes, depending on how much upward action he gets on that pitch. And usually that's enough, especially if he attacks his own like he did. He made Joe's look really silly in his first at-bat against him. I think Joe strikes out twice in this first inning. He strikes out the side in the first. Sometimes if you're on enough and you're not completely down the middle of the plate, you can pound the strike zone and have a successful inning, and that's exactly what K-Mac did. We go to the bottom of the first, and you're looking out for what Lou's going to do here, what his velocity is going to be like. He immediately throws a pitch like way up and away, but at least at 67. The pitches that follow are like kind of high 60s, so you're like, okay, Lou's here. He's going to pitch. Joe should not come in this game. He doesn't end up coming in this game, which is a good thing for the team and for entertainment value. He strikes out K-Mac to start the inning, walks Dan, strikes out K-Mac again, and Dan Canobio hits an Oppo Taco double, which I think starts him on this path of really seeing the ball well today at this very moment, and because he just starts ripping the ball all over the field. I think when you see any player hit like opposite field darts like that, they're seeing it pretty well and their swing is on point. So Dan Canobio, that is to me, this opposite field double was a sign of things to come. If he doesn't get that one, maybe we don't see the walk-off home run later, but super important swing. So with the walk and the double, we have men on second and third. He gets K-Mac striking out, swinging. K-Mac makes all 3 outs in this inning. Tough stuff if you're looking for a K-Mac player of the game. But huge of Lou to match K-Mac, put up a 0, to match their 0. It's a brand new ball game, 1 in a game to play right now. Even huger, which is a word, he starts off the next inning by hitting his own Oppo Taco that goes over the wall to the right field little short porch. Beautiful swing. K-Mac throws his classic sinker. It goes up and away. Would have probably hit like the top corner pipe, and Lou just goes with it. Just sends that thing where it came from, goes out to right field. A beautiful, beautiful swing by a man with one of the most gorgeous swings in the warehouse. If this tournament were longer, this is a huge sign. We're seeing him just kind of smash balls. He's got a hit in the first inning that is hit really hard. He's got this home run. Then after Joe hits a single, he rips another single. He's hitting the ball really, really hard. He then hits a double that was just absolutely smashed off the back wall. That gets Del Caribe to 2, which is, for this team, it's not bad. Especially, usually if they score 2, it's after they've already given up runs and they're behind, so they're just like playing catch up. This is like their first lead, seemingly, in a while. So this is huge for them. But as me and he that shall not be named, except for at the top of the show, we always say, that's not going to be enough. No matter who you're playing against, it feels like you're going into the bottom of the inning ready to get walked off. It just doesn't feel like a safe lead by any means. With that said, Lou has pitched great to this point, so let's see what happens. Let's turn the page. We start, Dan Canobbio immediately smacks a double. Like, smashes it. K-Mac does the same thing. He hits one of his funny little, like, off the grip type of hits again. I think it hit the bat maybe twice also, but he rips that to the back wall too. 2 doubles in a row, score a run. They're down by 1. There's no outs. We're getting to the controversy now, but there's another controversy earlier where Joe's pops up, hits the cameraman, or he catches the cameraman catches the ball. Dan Canobbio's parked right under it. Probably wasn't going to catch it. Jack Doyle points this out. He's like, he hasn't caught anything in this tournament. We can't assume he's going to catch that. But the rule, I guess, in sports would be, or in baseball would be, you can't determine that out based on the skill of the player parked under the ball. It's got to be a blanket rule for all. So fan interference is called an out. That's controversial call number 1. That goes against Del Caribe. I think that's the right call. Although Del Caribe did bribe the umps, and I say, what for at that point? They got nothing for it. So we're back to the 2-1 game I was talking about earlier. I believe there's a runner on second base, 2-1, and Dan Canobbio strikes out. But luckily they go to audio, and they can hear the tiniest sound of the tip, and you can kind of hear it when you're listening to, when you're watching the episode. I think live time, I don't think I picked up that there was a foul tip, but when they do play it back, it's pretty clear that definitely is a foul tip. But it just feels like this Del Caribe team can't catch a break in this game because pretty much the next pitch, if not the next pitch, he hits a bomb to center field, and that's a walk-off 2-run homer. Huge. I mean, Dan Canobbio is just barreling balls left and right. He gets 2 days off right now, so this is his second day off in a row. He's saving that arm, and he has not given up a run yet. He only pitched the first game, but that's so smart. If you're a team that has 2 good pitchers, ease some of the burden off of each other, and winning this game helps their plan really pay off immensely. So they're really set up for success in the semifinals now. Excited to see what happens. Good, a huge win, an awesome game. What a playoff run by MacFlurry so far. I guess it's time to get to our player of the game. Player. Dan Canobbio goes 3 for 3, doesn't lift a finger on the mound, hits a huge home run to win the game. I mean, just all around, what a tournament for Dan Canobbio, except for those errors. But yeah, it's got to be him, and it's also his play of the game. We have our first duck of the game. We probably missed one in the past, but I just remembered that this would count as a duck of the game. Huge for Dan Canobbio. It's the 2-run homer by Dan. Yeah, it's got to be that. That's the play. That's the only play that there was. Maybe you could say it was one of the controversial calls. It was the fan interference. That didn't really affect too much. Or you could say it was the foul tip. But the foul tip leads to a bigger play. So I'm going to pick the 2-run home run. Dan Canobbio, I can't say single-handedly won this game because K-Mac did pitch really, really well. He gives up the 2 runs, but holds it down otherwise. Gets some big outs at important times. So I will give K-Mac some credit for sure. He struck out a lot. but he did get that big doubles. That was important too. But Dan Canobio just is perfect at the plate today. Just with a slug too. It's not just like a bunch of singles. He's 2 doubles and a walk-off home run. You really can't beat that. And he didn't have to field any balls. He parked himself right under the guy on purpose, so he didn't have to catch that. Very smart, very intelligent by Dan Canobio. Way to go. It's time for our, we'll call it, predictions today, because this game has aired that I'm talking about. So I will predict it instead of previewing it. And if you're a psychopath that came here before watching that game, thank you. I love you. But I assume maybe you're just like a completionist and want to come here first before you watch my next episode. But either way, thank you, but I will get my thoughts on the record so that you can't call me a liar when I say that I called the winner of this game. The next game is We Got Ice versus Jolly Olives. This is the game that everyone has been talking about. This is a game that Moylan had sort of mentioned before the season started, that he saw some of the best Blitzball ever in this Blitzball Battle tournament. I've been getting texts and texts and texts from Drew Davis, hyping this game up. Thank God he is a normal, smart man and texted me today saying, did I lie? Knowing to not spoil if there was a chance I didn't see the game yet. I did not, but he continues to, without saying anything about the game specifically, hype it up. A couple of those things are that the game is apparently an hour and 20 minutes. And he also mentioned that there were a metric shit ton of pitches thrown. So, with these clues, this leads me to believe that this is a very long game. Smart man. It was a very smart man. I gotta believe there's some extra innings going on here with that runtime, and some long innings in general. Like in the game proper, there got to be some long innings, some bases loaded situations with some big pitch counts, some long individual at bats as well. We know that Jolly doesn't pitch. We know that Zoe doesn't pitch, so we can't even question the pitching decisions here. We know it's just a straight up one-on-one battle, Jack versus Drew on the mound. That's super interesting. That's why I guess the pitch counts on the individuals go up so high. So I don't know. Obviously, it's tied going into the extras. That's what I have to assume here. I asked Drew what the extra innings rules are for the playoffs, because I know that they're different for playoffs because they're more important, obviously. The regular season, they're just trying to get through the season without hurting anybody and like wasting too much time. But the extra inning rules for the playoffs are as follows. At first, you play with 2 outs and a ghost runner, a Manfred man on second base. After that, if you're both hit, you get a turn. You go to a showdown where each player gets an at-bat. So it's not just you pick one, we pick one at-bat, it's over. It would be Jack Doyle pitching to Jolly and Drew pitching to Jack and Zoe. And whoever comes out with the best total base total wins the game. So I have to imagine that's how it ended, with one of those teams coming out with a higher total base total. I could be totally wrong, but this is what I'm assuming after all this. One interesting wrinkle, I asked about walks, because I know in the past we've played this sort of style extra inning decider with unlimited balls so that the inning didn't end in a walk. The way they're doing walks now with this style showdown, a walk kind of counts how it would count in the regular season. If you walked 2 already, you could choose to take the double or the stay at the plate and swing. A walk counts as the stay at the plate and swing, but you get 1 base. So if you are in the showdown and you walk, you get a base and you stay there. So you can get at least 1 no matter what, 1 base no matter what if you're walking. So it's super interesting. Good to know. I don't know if it'll come up or not, but it is good to know that the count does matter in these extra inning showdowns. It's not just like throw as many nasty pitches as you can and try to get them out. You can throw endless balls. I don't know if I love that. I do like the 1 base and stay at the plate. That is fun. Okay. I mean, I'm pumped up for this game. It's got me thinking so much. As you can tell, I'm like doing the puzzle of how this game's going to go in my head. So I guess I'm just going to end this and go watch that immediately because it's movie length. So let's go do that. But before we do, it's time for plugs. So thank you all for watching this and enduring me. I'm on a busy Sunday. Love you for waiting for this episode. I will get the next one out as fast as possible. Thank you for your patience. Please subscribe. Getting close to that 200 number. I want to get to 200 so badly before the end of the season. That would be huge. Make me very happy. So spread the good word. Tell your friends. I will try and look at the camera more too. I keep looking at this. There's like a little tiger on my screen. It's a very cute little tiger cub. I'm looking at him in the eyes while I talk. It helps me to have like a human to talk to. Maybe I'll put like googly eyes on my phone to help me look at the camera more. But listen wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube, of course, at Blitzball Boys. You can follow us on Instagram at Blitzball Boys over on Instagram. Drink Subtle Teas, drink made by me. You can find that at thesubtlety.com. Use code HOPPYBOYS for $2 off your order. That's our beer podcast that we do. We've had some warehouse guests on that before. Go check those out. Drew Davis and BBD. Listen to the Swifty Boys, our Taylor Swift album review podcast. It's a mouthful. And listen to the Sandy Boys, our The OC recap show on patreon.com/boysmedia. Peter, you got anything else you want to talk about? Bye-bye. Peace.